across America. And there's this claim of this conspiracy, this Odinist cult. Is it possible for it to exist in a community like that? We're seeing that it apparently, according to the defense and stories they're telling, it reaches into the correctional system and officers and law enforcement. They're being framed. I mean, not that you read between the lines. I got to get your thoughts on that.
So when it first came out, I thought it was way out there, right? And then the more information that I received, the more looking into this whole case I do, social media accounts for these people who are named in that documentation, it's crystal clear that they're Odinites. They do the Odinite things with the sacrifices and all of that kind of stuff. So it is possible. It was a new thing to me, Odinism, but it does exist there, and it does exist in those people who we shall not name on the air, but yeah, it does, and it's creepy, and I just want to say something about the victims too. I just want to say what a hero that Libby was. We know as grown-ups, as adults, if we see something, to say something, but the fortitude and the brains that this young lady had to film when she felt something wasn't right, it blows my mind, and she is a hero to me. And I just think every parent everywhere needs to teach their child at a young age that if something doesn't feel right, everyone has cameras these days, and to do what she did, because she solved this case, or will eventually solve this case. And so I just props to her, and she's amazing.
Could not agree more. I mentioned very early on she had the presence of mind to do that under some very trying circumstances. So I agree 100%. Bob, going back to what Lauren mentioned about what might be going on out there, what's very possible. According to law enforcement, they looked into this, and they apparently didn't find anything. Doesn't sound to me like they're the right folks to be looking into it. Does something else need to happen here?
I mean, look, I try to explain to people when I'm in my podcast or on my YouTube channel, everything that the defense stated in their memorandum came directly from the state's discovery, which came directly from law enforcement. These aren't theories the defense is cooking up in their office. This is all stuff that came directly from the evidence that was given to them by Nick McClelland. So, and what we know is that there were 3 cops who continued to investigate that angle long after the Unified Command decided, for whatever reason, that they were no longer interested in investigating that angle at all. And, the whole thing with the professor and them saying that they didn't know who he was during a deposition, everything that took place just makes it stink. And it's so apropos to have this particular question during this segment when I have to look at just the victims' families who have put all their hope into what law enforcement has told them in terms of it being the correct person. And then when we hear what the defense has put out, and again, which has come from the discovery tendered to them by the state, it breaks my heart. Because for whatever reason, they quit. In my estimation, whether Richard Allen, they found more evidence on him and they can prove that he's the guy, that's amazing. And I'm thrilled for the families because they're getting the justice they deserved. However, based on what I've seen, and it came through in that defense memo, thankfully, I think that they need to be continuing to investigate, Michael. That's how I feel about it. I think that to stop the investigation is absurd based on what we all now know.
I would have to agree. And again, putting everything under seal, not leaving it out to the public, considering all the interest, I think, everything under the sunshine, you got to have it out there because there's so many questions.